Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is my third video in the series on genetics. In the first two videos, I discussed about Mendel's life and his research. I've given the links to those two videos in the description box. Please go through those videos if you have not seen. If you have seen, like, share and subscribe. In this video, my focus is on the deviations from Mendelism. Mendel's work was rediscovered in 1900 by three different scientists in three different nations simultaneously in the same year, that is 1900. This rediscovery actually caused a kind of revolution in biology. Thousands of people started working on the same lines as that of Mendel. They conducted experiments in plants and animals in the same manner in which Mendel conducted. Most of them got varied kind of ratios, varied kind of results, which were not obeying the laws or which were not following the same ratios as it was discussed and as this was mentioned in Mendel's work. Let us now look into Mendel's conclusions and deviations. Mendel said a character exists in two alternate forms. That is because of alleles. And out of these two alternate forms of characters, one is dominant, the other one is recessive. This is one of the conclusions made by Mendel. A character has two alternate forms, and one of the alternate forms is dominant, the other one is recessive. The deviation is a character is not always in two alternate forms. In fact, there are many forms of a character, and this is called multiple allelism, and it was discovered by Karl Landsteiner when he studied the blood groups. A blood group is a character. We don't have only two types of blood groups. We have A, B, AB, O, and Bombay. There are so many varieties of blood groups. So these are all called multiple alleles, and phenomenon is called multiple allelism, which is the deviation from Mendelism. When I said a character has two forms, one is dominant, the other one is recessive. Even this is also not a universal phenomenon. When you take a character, the two alternate forms need not have dominant and recessive relationship. We have so many varieties of relationships. It may be incomplete dominance, as we have seen in case of Mirabilis gelapa, discovered by Carl Currens, and we have pseudo-dominance, we have incomplete dominance, we have co-dominance, as we have seen in case of blood groups. AB blood group exhibits co-dominance. So the first conclusion based on the monohybrid cross, is not an universal phenomena. Maybe it's a very rare phenomenon. Coming to the second conclusion. The second conclusion is that based on the second law, a particular character is coded by a particular gene, and the gene has two alternate forms, and this gene has no influence on the other. When you consider two different characters, the genes or the germinal factors related to these two different characters, like for example height, color, shape, etc., have nothing to do with the other character. Each character asserts independent of the other character. The deviation is there are gene interactions or genetic interactions where one character or the gene for one character is actually influencing the other gene. In fact, genetic interaction is the order of the day, and no interaction, what Mendel said, is a very rare phenomenon. And now in this age of genomics, we know that most of the genes most of the genes are expressed only because of genetic interaction, and there is hardly any gene which is expressed, all right, without the interaction of other genes. No gene can express alone itself. It requires the help of other genes, it requires the interaction of the other genes. So this is the other major deviation from Mendelism. Now we have so many types of genetic interactions which we will study one by one in my next videos. Like we have epistasis, hypostasis, pleiotropy. There are so many examples. We will take up one by one. So this is what is, in a nutshell, the deviation from Mendelism. I always say Mendel was very lucky. Mendel was lucky because he selected 7 pairs of characters, like height, shape, color. For each character, he selected 2 alternate forms. And all the characters that were selected by Mendel and their genes are located on different chromosomes. Suppose, let us assume that color and shape, the characters that he selected for dihybrid cross, the genes related to color and shape, imagine if they were located on the same chromosome, Mendel would have not got the results that he obtained, because that would have caused what is known as linkage. Then he would have got different results altogether. Maybe he could not have come to any conclusion, because all these things were not known at that time. He would have been in a difficult situation. Maybe he would have got confused to come to any conclusion. So that way Mendel was very lucky. Mendel selected 7 pairs of characters, and there are only 7 sets of chromosomes in Pisum sativum. In that way also Mendel was lucky. Mendel selected tall and short, or tall and dwarf characters with respect to height. And the relation between tall and dwarf was, tall was dominant and dwarf was recessive. And there was this dominant and recessive relation between these 2 forms of a character. Suppose if there was an incomplete dominance between these 2 forms of a character, Mendel would have got some other results. Maybe Mendel could not have come to the conclusions. Mendel could not given us the laws that he has given. So that way Mendel was very lucky. That way we are also very lucky, since he got the good results and he could explain the phenomenon of inheritance, and that is why we are now able to understand the pattern of inheritance, the pattern of passage of characters or transfer of characters from the parents to the offsprings. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. We will meet again in the next class with one more episode and one more chapter on genetics. Thank you very much.